All right, welcome to Porn Talk. My name is Powerful Eric. Actually, my name is Eric Zuzak, also known as Powerful Eric.
Welcome to Porn Talk with Powerful Eric. End the porn habit. Reclaim your power. Let's join Powerful Eric.
Welcome to Porn Talk. The purpose of this show is to help you end the porn habit and reclaim your power. But it's not just about breaking addictions, it's about breaking belief systems. Because we are bound by self-imposed and societal chains. So break those chains, get empowered now. And I have back my good friend, William Duffin. He is a spiritualist minister at Circle Light Spiritualist Church. He is a teacher, and welcome back, Sir William.
Thank you, Eric.
And as many of you may know from the other podcast, I like to call him Sir William. William, what have you been up to since the last show?
Well, most recently I taught a class. It's funny how it worked out. I ended up teaching the same class twice in one day of the law of attraction, and specifically what's the problem with the law of attraction.
Well, what is the law of attraction?
Law of attraction is a universal law, one of many universal laws. And the law of attraction, at its very essence, says like attracts like. That, the old adage of birds of a feather flock together. We attract what we think about every day, all the time.
So what would be an example of the law of attraction?
Well, from my life, when I bought the car that I have now, in general, it's basically just whenever you achieve a goal, whenever you attain something you've been visualizing, you're using the law of attraction. All right. So specifically, like when I bought the car I have now, my old Saturn had 220,000 miles on it, and I got honest that, what, I live out in the country, I drive a lot, so I need a car that gets good gas mileage, and I like driving a stick shift. It's just the way I am. I like it. So I wanted a car. Two of my main priorities were that it gets good gas mileage and it's fun to drive, preferably a stick shift. And as far as I know, there was at the time, no hybrid cars were made. They all have automatics. None of them had manual transmissions. Mm-hmm. Well, I was looking around on Craigslist, and they have the criteria on the margin there. Mm-hmm. So I had I think I hit like a certain MPG and standard. And there is a hybrid made by Honda called the CRZ. It was made with a stick shift. They made it for 3 or 4 years.
That's awesome. So,
and then I ended up finding one at a local small dealer.
Great. So that's a example of the law of attraction in action.
Well, and I should fill in the blank there. I visualized it a lot. I didn't just sit down and do this all in 5 minutes. I had to, but one of the important steps is getting honest. You know what? I have to be honest. I drive a lot. So in order to maximize my dollars, I need this kind of mileage. So, I want to emphasize an important step in that was being honest about my real needs. But I was able to get what I need and what I want.
Okay. So, a lot of the people listening to the program, what they want is to end the porn habit. And as many of you know, for a couple decades, I tried to break the habit using 12-step systems. And one of the things you do is you count how many days that you're not doing the thing. And we all the meetings we go around, we'll say how many days we've been sober, and then we describe usually the worst behavior you've done. That was how every meeting would start. How's the law of attraction in use in those meetings?
That's a great example because I understand the therapeutic value of venting and telling your truth. I did this thing and I feel bad about it, and there is a value in forgiveness of the self and stuff like that.
Sure.
But as far as the way the mind works and law of attraction, that's horrible because you're putting your attention on what you don't want. You're always obsessing, or at least obsessing might be too strong a word, but you're always putting your attention on, and often obsessing about what, I'm not going to look at porn. I'm not going to look at porn. I'm not going to look at porn. I have Psychology 101, little clue for you. The subconscious mind does not recognize a not. So when you say, I don't want to look at porn, in your subconscious mind, you're hearing, I look at porn.
So the subconscious mind
Yes.
will not hear the negative. So when
Right.
I say I don't want to do something, it hears you want to do something.
Right.
So I don't want to watch porn. So your subconscious mind just hears I want to watch porn
Yes.
because it doesn't understand a negative.
Correct. And that right there should be enough to tell you that that's why the success of a 12-step program is like 12% or something.
It's 10% to max on very unusual 20%.
Yeah.
But yeah. So counting the number of days that you're not doing something, the subconscious mind is hearing what?
If I say I have been avoiding porn for 12 days, I'm still visualizing porn.
Right.
If you say I've been healthy for 12 days, if you state it where porn's not even in the sentence, or acting out, or whatever kind of term you use.
Yeah.
If I say I have been clean and sober for 12 days, I have been healthy for 12 days, I have been clearing my mind for 12 days. So you can still use a 12-step structure, and I see the value in that. But it would make it hugely more successful if you simply stated it in a positive words.
Right. I did 90 meetings in 90 days, and I was obsessively focused on not doing the thing for 90 days. And I totally hear what you're talking about. It's a negative affirmation. I haven't done the thing. I haven't done the thing.
Right.
Well, since our last show that we talked together, we have our little mascot. For those of you that are on the video, you can see this. On audio, obviously you can't. The show has a mascot. Well, how would you describe the mascot, William?
A one-eyed walking wiener.
Yes, he's the one-eyed walking wiener. He has arms. He's carrying a smartphone. He's got a big red eye. He's obsessively looking at his smartphone. And I've asked viewers to submit names. I understand there was a technical problem that I won't get into on why we don't have a lot of those names. But can you think of one of the names that you submitted?
I like that one-eyed walking wiener. It was like kind of it was more than one word.
Yeah. The name that I thought was just something simple like Dick, because then really then the slogan could be, don't be a dick.
Don't be like Dick.
Yeah, don't be like Dick. Yeah.
Right.
But like I said before, we have him up there in jest, but really he is got his smartphone and he's addicted to his smartphone. This program isn't just about breaking addiction to porn. It's about breaking belief systems. It's about becoming enlightened about reality. And even if you're not addicted to porn, are you addicted to your phone? Man, what do you think about that?
I think it's great.
About the phone addiction.
Oh, about the phone addiction? Well, I think it's a real thing.
It is.
Obviously.
It is. My wife and I, we were at the park the other day, and it was a beautiful day. I'm not exaggerating. Just about everyone had their face in the phone. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like worse than I thought. But I've come to find out they were having a Pokemon event. So everybody was going out and finding their Pokemons. And I guess that is a good thing that game is getting people out of the house. But it's just like, oh my gosh, really? It's this gorgeous day. We're all out at the park, and everyone's had their head down looking at their phone.
Sure.
It's just,
On the positive side, they're outside, but it could be even more positive, and they don't have their phone out.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the law of attraction. We're talking about kind of the negative. Mm-hmm. things of the law of attraction.
How the mind works.
Yeah. Well, how would someone use the law of attraction to break an addiction to porn or compulsive sex?
Okay. And the most simple answer is focus on what you do want. And everything else stems from that. Can I tell you just a little bit about the law of attraction to begin with?
Please.
Do you know the first mention that we know of the law of attraction is in 1906? Elizabeth Town wrote in The Life Power and How to Use It, quote, "Man is a magnet. Every line, dot, and detail of his experiences come by his own attraction." I mean, she used the word attraction.
Yeah.
I think that's stupendous, you know?
Yeah.
That was over 100 years ago.
Yeah.
A lot of you may have seen the movie The Secret.
Yes,
I know a lot of my friends in the New Agey community have.
Could you tell them a little bit what is...
Okay, The Secret is a movie, came out, I don't know, 15 years ago probably.
Docudrama.
A docudrama type thing. And they present the law of attraction. But since then, I've seen two problems. One is a problem with the movie, and the second is a problem with the way that people see the movie.
What's the problem with the movie?
Well, the problem with the movie is they don't emphasize enough the steps between the visualization and the creation. All
It's
right?
a little overly simplified.
It is a little oversimplified. That if I can just... There's this idea that The Secret promoted, and a lot of other people promote this idea that if I can just get my thoughts straight, I'll create everything I want like magic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know what? In a certain sense, that is true. But then what they don't explain is that first part of getting your thoughts straight. What does that really mean? It doesn't just mean I can make a vision board. A vision board is mean like put pictures of what you want on a poster board or something, and you basically give it attention. You visualize like the car. Like I'm gonna put a picture of the car that I desire, my new Tesla. And what's it going to be like? What's it going to smell like? Feel like? What's it going to drive like? How's it going to feel when I drive it? How am I going to feel when other people see me in the car? You know, things like that. So you want to visualize the whole thing.
Right.
And that's all very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're doing that and you're only engaging the conscious mind, you're really only engaging about 20% of your whole mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then that percentage varies upon what book you read or what author. It's like from 10 to 20% is actually in your conscious brain. So how do I engage the subconscious mind? Well, that's really the $64,000 pyramid question, as they say. For me, one of the easiest answers is meditation.
Otherwise, another word, an umbrella term would be mindfulness, because...
That's exactly what the next thing I was going to say.
Yeah.
Specifically, mindfulness meditation. Because when I first learned to meditate, I was taught, I had meditated before and not really known it was meditation, but then I actually took meditation classes, and they taught me to meditate. They said you meditate on a certain quality or characteristic. Like, I'm going to meditate for more patience or understanding or compassion. And I just tell you... So I was doing that, and I did that for, I don't know, months, maybe even a year. I was probably several months. And I was not getting the results I wanted. I realized that I would meditate on patience or to create patience in myself, and that would bring up two other things I needed to work on. So months of meditating on these things brought up like this laundry list of character flaws, all these things I need to change about myself. And one day I sat down to meditate. I remember it was outside. And I sat down to meditate. And it just... I had that awareness because I had this like structured meditation. Like I had a routine, okay? So I sat down doing my routine, and I was getting centered, and I thought, you know what? This is not working. I keep getting this like laundry list of things to change. I'm not getting what I want. So I'm not sure what I'm going to meditate on today. I'm just going to see what happens. And as at the very beginning, as I entered the meditation, as I just relaxed and got centered, this voice, my higher self, whatever, said, you know from physics that light and dark can't be in the same place at the same time. Okay? So don't worry about plucking out every little piece of dark. Just fill yourself with light. That helped me immensely.
So what you're talking about there, what is something that you could suggest for the listening audience to do something real basic, simple?
So that ended up changing the way I meditate. Instead of like trying to focus on something, it was more the Buddhist way of meditation of release and release and release and release. And then next you release some more. So you just keep releasing the things that aren't really you.
But I mean, what's a specific example that you could tell somebody that's listening right now on how to meditate or how to meditate? Like the candle thing or...
Oh, okay. So the candle exercise is a good one because it helps you be the director of your own attention.
Can you tell them what the candle exercise is?
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to have a candle at about arm's length away, at about eye level. And yes, the candle's lit. I was telling somebody this one time, and they said, should I light the candle? I'm like, yeah. Click on the up draw. Okay, so candle. So you have a candle flame at about arm's length away, at about eye level. You don't want to be straining, looking up or down too much. You'll be relatively comfortable. When you first do this, have pen and paper, pencil, whatever, and really no strict rules about it. Let's say you start with 5 minutes. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Fix your attention on that flame, and every time you think of something other than that flame, make a mark. And in 5 minutes, you might have 500 marks. Just depends on how quick your attention moves. But when something distracts you, you release what it is, like the distraction, just release it. And I say something like, if that's really important, it'll come back to me later.
Right.
That's it. Instead of saying like, get out of my house, say, if this is important, it'll come back to me later. And trust, believe me, it will. Trust your mind. Trust your subconscious mind. And then, put your attention back on the flame. Release and redirect yourself. Release and redirect yourself. And then after about a month, or maybe even 2 to 4 weeks, quit using a piece of paper. Because that'll become a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
As you get more and more centered. And then increase the time to 10 minutes. After maybe a month or so. And then after 2 months, or maybe 3 months, quit using the timer. You won't need it. You'll have a very good feel for that 10-minute window. Do that every day for a year, and it'll change your life. It'll change the way you think.
I actually did this. William had suggested, I'm not sure if this was one of your classes or you just told me about it, but William told me about this exercise, and I did this in the basement here for almost a year, and it's challenging at first.
It is,
because just to stay focused on that candle. But once you do it after a while, you get into this really relaxed state, and I found it very helpful.
See, just suggesting it, I've done it so much. Now, just you suggesting it made me breathe. I didn't even. It was like a conditioned response.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is an example of meditation, and let's talk about, the show isn't just about breaking addictions, it's about creating a great life.
Okay.
How can we use the law of attraction, not just to break the addiction, but to create a life that we're excited about? How can we use the law of attraction?
You know what? You just did a beautiful segue into the next major point of my class, and that is the emotions. In The Secret, they talk about engaging the emotions. So let's say you're visualizing the car again. I'm in the car. I am engaging my senses in my visualization, what it smells like, what it sounds like, what it feels like, what it looks like, and all this stuff. You have to feel good about the experience. And so if you're honest, if you have worked on this mindfulness aspect and you're able to be really honest. One of the examples that I found in my research was a woman realized as she was trying to reduce her weight that one of the blocks, because you would think that reducing my weight, I would have nothing but positive outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
That my friends would say, "Oh gosh, Jane, you look great today. Blah blah blah. Have you lost weight? Blah blah blah." All those types of things.
Yeah.
She said one of her fears was envy.
Wow. Yeah, that would be a big stumbling block.
I know. I mean, that just like, ping, that light bulb goes off. And she said she had to get really honest about her feelings attached to what other people think about it.
You know what's funny about that? I've recently, over the past year, lost 40 pounds on purpose. Mm-hmm. And I've used the law of attraction and visualization, all those things. There was one person I was thinking about, a friend of mine who's very overweight. Mm-hmm. And I actually did have that thought. It came to my mind that, I'm slimming down. I wonder how he's going to feel about that. I don't want to make him feel bad. It was just a fleeting thought, but it did come through my mind.
Mm-hmm. Can I tell you one of the tools I use for getting honest with myself?
Please.
The 4 Agreements.
Okay, I know the book.
Okay, so a lot of people, again, a lot of my new agey friends, thoughtful friends, know the 4 Agreements, have read the book, or at least have studied the actual agreements. So I'll tell you what they are. Agreement number, and this is from Ruiz. What's his first name? Don Miguel Ruiz, I think his name.
Yeah.
So the 4 Agreements. 1, be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love.
Wow.
I know. Just imagine just doing that one thing.
Yeah. It's been years since I read that book. Man, those are powerful.
They are. And he, what's the word I'm looking for? He gives credit to it's called Toltec wisdom. Okay?
Yeah. Can you read those again for us?
1, be impeccable with your word. This is just number 1. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love.
You say all that falls under just number 1? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's just number 1.
Wow.
Okay, number 2. Don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering.
Wow.
Now, so the converse of that is also true in that we project our crap on other people. It's just a reality. You can frame this in a lot of different ways. Like in Psychology 101, it's your basic defense mechanisms.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this 1 agreement, you can completely transform your life. I would say that about each of them.
Yeah,
Each of them.
I mean, I'm thinking about the porn addiction stuff and being truthful and honest. Mm-hmm. And oh my gosh, you apply this to porn addiction or sex addiction? Man, cured.
Yeah, and what's amazing is, and again, it's been said many different ways and in many different cultures and philosophies, is the layers that you find. Okay, I'm just going to do agreement number 1. My focus for the next 365 days is I'm going to be impeccable with my word. And then you quickly realize how much you bullshit yourself.
It has
you
been
quickly
said.
You quickly realize, like, wait a minute, that's not the whole truth.
That's awesome. I'm going to get back out that book.
Yeah.
That book is, I was amazing when I read it and need to apply it again.
Number 4.
Okay.
Another one. Okay. Always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best. By that, you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret.
Fantastic.
Another point that I bring up in my class, if you don't mind me just continuing.
Please.
When we talk about the law of attraction and karma, it's often presented as if we are being judged all the time as good and bad. Like karma is like heaven and hell. Like there's this divine punishment and reward system.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to say this other than saying it's just simply not true. Okay? By the way, I understand the universe and what I've learned and in my experiences, it's not true. And my full truth is I was raised Catholic. All right? So I was raised with the you have two destinations, heaven or hell.
Yeah, me too.
You know, you got to be good.
Yeah,
all right?
Yeah.
Try this on.
Okay.
There is no judge. One common misunderstanding is the implication there is some force keeping tabs on us, judging us, and then delivering us our experiences as either some sort of punishment or reward. I do believe there is some sort of force that transcends our physical reality, something that we will never have the full capacity to understand. But I fully believe this entity is nothing but pure love, devoid of any sort of judgment. No matter what we do, it only sees our true nature, our perfection. Judgment is purely the purview of humans.
God knows I judge myself.
Right. And that's why one thing that led me to this is authors like Marianne Williamson and Carolyn Myss. And I think about them, I get emotional because they're to me, they are the truly wise people that are still alive. Carolyn Myss, it's M-Y-S-S. She wrote one of my favorite books called Anatomy of the Spirit. And Marianne Williamson, who's wrote a ton of books, she focuses a lot on like prayer and I forgot what was her big Course in Miracles, I think is her thing. But the word that's implied by this paragraph is not said is forgiveness. Now I'm going to tell you right now, from readings from my own experiences, my own insight, meditation, and so on, and even more palpable readings I do for other people, is the big hang up of humanity is not being able to forgive ourselves.
Amen to that.
I fully believe this force is set up to work for us, not against us. And as much as it is able to support us, it cannot defy our vibration. It reminds me of what Deborah used to say. A teacher we have in common named Deborah said, many times my spirit guides have dragged me kicking and screaming to my greater good. But that's not really true because your spirit guides can't make you do something. All right, it's funny vision, but your spirit guides can't make you do something. And God or whatever the universe is made up of cannot defy your will.
And for those that are not familiar with the term so much, you could just say angels in the place of that word.
Okay. It delivers us experiences based on what we're putting out there. It has no choice. To me, the universe, the best analogy I can find on Earth is like a computer that it only gives back what you put into it.
And that's what we're talking about is the law of attraction.
Right.
What is this? There was a story you said at one of your classes about Socrates in a story. Tell them the story. That story. That was.
One day, a man rushed up to Socrates saying, "I have some news to tell you." Socrates put up his hand to stop the excited man. "First, let me ask 3 questions." "Okay," said the man. "Is the news you're about to tell me something you personally know to be true?" "Well, no," replied the man. "I heard it from a good source, though." "Let's go to the second question," Socrates said. "Is the news you want to tell me about someone you know personally?" "Well, not really, but I think you know the person." "I see," said Socrates. "Let me ask you my final question. Is this news positive or negative?" "Well, it's negative." "I see," said Socrates. "You want to tell me some news that you don't know personally to be true about someone you don't know at all that is negative." "Well, when you see it like that, it sounds kind of bad." "I think I'll pass," Socrates said.
I love that story for some reason.
Well, because this story is put in this class to help illustrate. Imagine Socrates and the man are really two parts of you.
Right.
And do you believe your stories you tell yourself?
Mm.
You know, when I gave that little talk yesterday, I gave the example of my personal life of by today's standards, I was raised in a what would today be considered a terribly abusive home. Okay, terribly abusive.
Yeah.
Like, you know, cops would have been called. All right.
Right.
And so I grew up basically thinking there was something wrong with me. I thought, you know, I was stupid. I couldn't do anything right. Things like that. You know,
Self-deprecating thoughts.
Self-deprecating.
Yes.
And so I am 51. So the past, you know, about 32 years have been spent deprogramming that.
Right. Right.
You know, changing the input.
Yeah.
So let's bring that back to the law of attraction. Joe Vitale, who's one of the speakers in The Secret, calls that the law of unconscious unconscious counterintentions. Unconscious counterintentions. So that comes back to the whole idea of what the subconscious and the conscious mind. So like I have my vision board, or I have, you know, what I don't want, and I focus on it, but I'm only engaging the conscious mind. I'm not engaging the other like 70%.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when sabotage comes up.
Right.
I sabotage myself. And it doesn't take internal Sherlock Holmes. You don't have to be like a great investigator to look back and say, oh my gosh, I see now how I set myself up for failure.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Makes sense?
It does. It does. William, thank you so much for being here again and enlightening us and myself about the law of attraction in action. William, how can listeners get a hold of you?
Oh, they can call or text my phone number, 314-403-4744. They can find me on Facebook as Happy Medium Will. That's first name Happy, last name Medium Will. Or my website, mediumwill.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for being here. Thanks for listening to Porn Talk. Again, the purpose of the show is not just about breaking addictions. It's about breaking belief systems. And I like to always close with a quote from Zig Ziglar, who says, "You are designed for accomplishment. You are engineered for success, and you are endowed with the seeds of greatness." Stay powerful, friends. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening. If you're struggling with porn or sex addiction, then contact Eric at PowerfulEric.com or call 314-717-0377 for a free no-obligation consultation. You are powerful.